Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching yet another episode of Lima Shenanigans of 1977. It's Monday night, and you know what that means. It's time for your weekly WWE Monday Night Raw Event Center report. And now here is the man to give you that report, Mr. Eric M. Lima.
Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Lima Shenanigans of 1977. Episode 1483 of the show. I got a lot to talk about, man. I got a lot of videos to do, man. I'm telling you, it's just, totally insane start to the week. I'm telling you right now. Lord. I don't know where to begin. I don't know where my axis is standing and all that crap and all this good stuff. But let me tell you. Just a lot of news came out over the weekend and the way to start the week, and holy bleep, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be insane. You got to trust me on this one, folks. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Got a lot of videos to do, a lot of ground to cover. And I'll tell you what, it is only a matter of time, though, when everything is just going, ooh, boy, we're having so much fun here. So, I'm telling you, I'm just so hyped up. That's all I'm going to say. You keep changing shirts because I guess, I want to look presentable here on YouTube. So I decided, well, I'm going to go with the Gold Ranger shirt from Zio. There we go. Gold Ranger, baby. Gold Ranger power. There we go. Anyways, let's get right into what happened on Raw last night. The fallout from Clash in the Castle. I want to see if I get this episode right. Yeah, episode 1483. A lot of videos I need to get to. Seriously. Clash of the Castle, as you know, I made my picks and predictions over at Rant and Rave and on this channel, and I just, I had everything right, all 5 matches right, and everything else, all predictions. And then, unexpectedly, Seth freaking Rollins is back. I thought he'd be out for a while because of injury. I mean, the man has worked hard, and the man has made that World Heavyweight title what it is. And so, for him to come back, and he decided, well, I'm back for one reason, is to get the one title I've had, and get that championship back that I've lost. So, as you know, he lost at WrestleMania to Drew McIntyre, whom had Damian Priest cash in on him because Drew McIntyre was so drawn up with CM Punk. So more in that situation when we get to it. So Rollins addresses the Corpus Christi crowd. Here comes Damian Priest interrupting Rollins. He said, you know what? I'm the champ now. But then they decided, well, as Damian Priest goes, well, I'll tell you what. How about you? I'll challenge you to a match. Why not for the title? He says, well, if we can get Adam Pearce to agree with it, we'll go. So it has been made official. Adam Pearce on social media said, okay, the match has been made official. The World Heavyweight title will be on the line. Damian Priest defends against Seth Rollins. A return matchup, so to speak, for Seth Rollins. More on Drew McIntyre. Alpha Academy, mainly Chad Gable earlier on, confronts Adam Pearce having one another shot at the Intercontinental title, and he's blaming the Alpha Academy. And he goes, and then Adam Pearce goes, I'll get a suitable opponent for you. So Chad Gable was waiting for his opponent, and guess who his opponent is? Braun Strowman. I'm like, that's what you get for being a bully. And Strowman won the matchup. Gable decided to berate Maxine Dupree, Otis, and Akira Tozawa. And then all 3 Alpha Academy members said, we're leaving. And after Otis pushed down Chad Gable. Otis fed up. So Judgment Day was making plans for Money in the Bank, and Dominic Mysterio lost his special vest, his purple vest. Where is it? Even Carlito was joking. Oh, must be back in the hotel room. Not helping. So they're trying to, there's something going on. There is something. There is something going on. So Women's Money in the Bank qualifier in a triple threat match. Io Sky, who won it last year, who cashed in at SummerSlam to become the champ. Newcomer Kiana James from NXT, and Zelina Vega of the LWO. And the winner of that match will go on to the Money in the Bank. Well, Liv Morgan decided to arrive during the matchup and distracting Zelina Vega. And Io Sky took advantage of the situation. She hit a moonsault on Kiana James. 1, 2, 3. Io Sky is going back to the Money in the Bank for her second consecutive Money in the Bank ladder match that she will be having. So that's a huge deal for the Genius of the Sky. Meanwhile, Sami Zayn addresses being the Intercontinental Champion since he's moved on from Chad Gable, who the next challenger could be. And Braun Breaker interrupts Sami Zayn, claiming that he would love to have a shot at the title and he should be champion. But then Sheamus interrupts Braun Breaker. As you know, Sheamus, wants the Intercontinental title. That's the only title that eluded him throughout his career. Sheamus says, "Hey fella, I want a shot at the title, but you're the new kid. There's Braun Breaker." So Sami Zayn goes, "I got an idea. I'll talk to Pierce and see if we can make this match happen." And we'll find out who was working. Dragon Lee addresses Carlito about revenge on Carlito after Carlito screwed him out of a chance for WrestleMania. Jackie Redmond interviewed the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. They said they'll be the fighting champions, defending against anybody. Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark interest Fire and Dawn to the point where Shayna Baszler said what we all been thinking, that she made Jade Cargill tap out. So they said they want a shot at it. We shall see. Dragon Lee went one-on-one with Carlito, and again, Liv Morgan shows up wearing Dominic's vest. Zelina Vega decided to brawl with Morgan, distracting the referee. J.D. McDonough took advantage of that situation, and Carlito ended up winning the matchup. It looks like every time Liv Morgan's been around, seems like everybody else came up aces, except for their nemesis. In this case, Dragon Lee and Zelina Vega. And Gable confronts Alpha Academy. He says, "Hey, where you guys going? What are you doing?" Otis says, "We're done." And basically, Maxine, Kirizawa, and Otis took off. Good for them. I salute Otis, man. Otis, about time. Chad Gable, all you do is too much of this. That's your problem, Chad Gable. And you haven't learned a lesson getting your butt kicked by Braun Strowman? Dude, come on now. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. But then Chad Gable decides, well, guess what? I'll move on. I'm going to win Money in the Bank and become the world champion. Drew McIntyre came out and was not a very happy camper. He decided to address CM Punk, but he couldn't say a word. And he's like, "Oh, I don't know about this. Screw this company. I quit," he says. Right there, he says, "Screw this company. I quit." I'm going, wow. And then Pierce was trying to reason with him, and then Triple H was trying to reason with him, and he's pissed off. I mean, Drew McIntyre's ticked off, man. I don't blame him. I mean, you get screwed in his home country, and his poor wife's in the hospital. But in all actuality, folks, he's not going anywhere. And in real life, he's not quitting. He probably takes some time off to be with his wife, who had emergency surgery, being a good husband that he is. But that will storyline write him off for a bit. Write him off for a bit, so to speak. That way, can get the storylines between him and CM Punk. The storytelling is just totally awesome. And I had to admit, I was kind of shocked when Drew McIntyre says, "I quit," and walked away. My goodness. Anyways, Katana Chance and Kaden Carter took on the team of Kairi Sane and Dakota Kai of Damage Control. Lara Valkyria arrives at ringside, distracting both Sane and Kai, and Chance and Carter did pick up the victory. Meanwhile, Io Sky was sitting in the back, and she tells Kairi Sane and Dakota Kai, "We gotta make some changes, or I'm gonna have to make some changes." I'm telling you, I think the big mistake was kicking Bayley out of Damage Control, because she was the one that kept that group together. And if I were Io, I'd be realizing this. And now without Asuka, because I think Asuka could have been the leader of, or de facto leader of Damage Control. I think that's, Asuka is the veteran, and she's the eldest one, and she knows Io better than anybody else. Without her, Damage Control is falling apart. So I thought when Asuka first joined, I think that would be very, very helpful. You get Asuka and Bayley, but now Asuka's hurt, Bayley's out, and she's on SmackDown. I don't know. We'll see what happens. For the next matchup, Sami Zayn was sitting at ringside. Sheamus went one-on-one with Braun Breaker, but during the matchup, that pretty boy moron, that goofball, Ludwig Kaiser, comes out and attacks Sheamus, earning a disqualification victory for Sheamus over Braun Breaker. But then Braun Breaker decided to both spear Ludwig Kaiser and Sheamus. And then I think Braun Breaker was taunting Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn wanted to go at him, and security and referees tried to separate the two. And Dom was looking for his vest. Morgan finds him. Morgan finds him to take the vest off, and Damian Priest was walking by. Hey! None of this, none of that. Just take the vest, and told Liv Morgan basically leave him alone. But every time Liv Morgan was around the Judgment Day ends up picking up victories. Has Liv Morgan had her master planning? But then Karrion Kross, along with Scarlett, said, "Hey, you cost my guys a matchup. You beat me up. How about this? One-on-one. I'll take on any one of you." We know it's going to be Kofi because you keep Woods in the back. And then New Day responds to that. But again, like I said, like with Damage Control, they lose a key member or a key key cog to keep the group together. Look at all these factions that we have. Judgment Day, you lose Rhea Ripley, they're almost falling apart at the seams. They're going crazy. Damage Control, you lose Bayley to SmackDown, you lose Asuka to injury, they're falling apart at the seams. Alpha Academy, they're falling apart at the seams, period, because their leader decided to be a jerk. Then you got, the New Day. All right, the New Day. You lose Big E, you start falling apart. That's what we're seeing right now. And you get to a little bit. I'll tell you one thing. A little bit more. This would lead into something that happened last night at the end of Raw. I'll get into that. So New Day's response to Cross's challenge will be Kofi Kingston one-on-one with Karrion Kross next week, and also 2 Money in the Bank qualifier matches going to happen next week. On the women's side, Lyra Valkyria versus Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane. Then the men's side, oh boy, Chad Gable is really ran his mouth this time. I mean, I'm sure he's not done complaining. Braun Strowman and Big Bronson Reed will join Chad Gable in a triple threat matchup in the men's side to qualify. I feel bad for Chad Gable. And Jey Uso cut a promo about getting the Money in the Bank. We'll go with the Yeet case, as he calls it. So, with the men's Money in the Bank qualifying matchup, Jey Uso versus Finn Balor versus Rey Mysterio. So during the matchup, though, the rest of Judgment Day, Dominic Mysterio, J.D. McDonough, and Carlito got involved. But Jey Uso took advantage of the situation, hitting both Finn Balor and Rey Mysterio. Finn Balor hit Rey Mysterio with a coup de grace. Jey Uso hit with a Uso splash. Pinned them both. Jey Uso wins the matchup. But then the celebration continued until the lights started going out. The lights go out. And then they had that big Uncle Howdy type entrance again with the door and all. The door opens, a big beam of light. And out crawls a woman in a mask. And that woman in the mask crawling, and then she was looking at the lantern, and then she stood up and told the cameraman, go to the back. You go to the back, bodies have laid out, and there is a guy who dressed as Rambling Rabbit. and holding a hammer that says help. Then you go to you go to the back to the gorilla position, ransacked, electricity crackling all over the place. Another masked man sitting on top of one of the crates with Mercy the Buzzard mask. And then you go to the back to the hall of the gorilla position. There was another person dressed in a pig mask. I think that's Huskus. Saw more bodies laid out. Chad Gable was laid out. And then you saw Uncle Howdy. And then Uncle Howdy looks at the Huskus, the pigman mask. Says, "Come with me." Then they walk together. They had the Buzzard, Mercy the Buzzard, and then they got the Rambling Rabbit with them. And then they all walked out, and then they saw the woman, the mysterious woman. And I believe that would be Sister Abigail, and then holding up the lantern. And then Uncle Howdy says, "We're here," and he blew it out in tribute to Bray Wyatt. But I think they're going to be called the Sick Sixth, the Sick Six, or the Wyatt Six, or something like that. I don't know, but all I know is here's where, according to reports, the identities of the people are recognizing. Uncle Howdy's obviously Bo Dallas. He's going to be taking over the supposed role that Bray Wyatt has. Then the returning Eric Rowan is the Rambling Rabbit. The returning Dexter Lumis is Mercy the Buzzard. Joe Gacy going to be called up from NXT. He will be Huskus the Pig, and then you got Nikki Cross being Sister Abigail. I'm telling you, this is going to be one bizarre group when they arrive. Judgment Day says they're running the WWE. I think the Wyatt Six may have something to say about that. And if I were Damian Priest and all those other factions, I would watch my backs. I mean, after what I just saw at the end of Raw, Lordy Lord, we're gonna do this. Gonna be a very interesting Raw next week. Hide your wife, hide your kids. That's what I say. Hide everybody. Here come the Wyatt Six. Let me tell you, it's going to get bowling shoe ugly. Well, that's it. That's all the time we have on episode 1483 of the show. And on the next episode, we're going to talk about. We're going to go to some Boston sports news. That's right. We're going to go back to Big BBE's Boston Ballers Beat on the next episode. So I will see you guys later. You guys have a wonderful day. Until next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home.
That is all for today's episode. This is your announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E, doing for Bob Saget Productions, and in association with a Raven Bofa Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching today's episode. Tune in next time for another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. Goodbye for now.